you ready to take your leadership journey to the next level? On the leadership platform TLP, we don't just talk about leadership, we live it. This year, we are bringing you cutting-edge insights, transformative tools, and real-world strategies to help you lead with confidence, purpose, and impact. This year, we have 4 seasons with 50 episodes. We will dive into themes such as leading self, leading others, and leading institutions. We bring you Leaders Are Leaders. This monthly session focuses on book reviews, discussions, encouraging all participants to read along with selected books on personal leadership and professional leadership. We also have a time with the CEO. In this segment, we dive into the stories of prominent CEOs who share their insights, lessons learned throughout their leadership journey. We also bring you extraordinary leadership stories, highlighting individuals in our societies who are doing extraordinary things. This segment inspires viewers with real-life examples of leadership in action. We will bring you some brilliant minds, courageous leaders changing the narrative of Africa. We also bring you finally the expert-led sessions, which cover a wide range of leadership and personal development topics, providing practical guidance and actionable strategies for personal and professional development. The leadership platform is your go-to space for personal growth, professional breakthroughs, and meaningful connections. I am Joy Bunsu-Schmutz, co-host on TLP, and I will see you every Saturday, 7 p.m. GMT, live on YouTube and Facebook.
Hello. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Leadership Platform. My name is Samuel Ayim, and I'm excited to be here this evening. I'm excited because it is Saturday, 7 p.m., the best part of the week for me, where at CTL Africa, we gather with like-minded people to learn about leadership and about personal growth. I'm excited because you are all here and ready to soak in and to share your experiences. Good evening and welcome to the Leadership Platform. The team is here, Sarah is here, Joy is here, and we have our extraordinary leader who is ready to tell us his story this evening. So all of you, welcome. Life is a journey, but life is full of choices. I want to encourage all of you who have chosen to join us to choose further to introduce yourself. Just tell us your name and where you are joining from, and we will be glad to introduce you to the whole wide world. Go ahead, let's know where you are joining from. We also know that many of you join, but prefer to remain at the background without introducing yourself. That's also fine, but we prefer to know you because we're going to learn together. We can share our experiences, and we can invite you by your name. So go ahead and share the link with your friends, put it on your status, share it in the various groups that you are on, and let us invite as many people as possible to join us. Great. This evening, we are on one of our special sessions where we showcase generally young, talented leaders who are doing extraordinary things to change our world or to change their lives. People who are daring to do things differently, people who are taking bold steps, not to be ordinary, but to be extraordinary. And so we have one such young man who is going to share his story. We shared many of these stories in the last 5 years, and you can go back to our YouTube and follow these people. Some of them are business people, some of them are social workers, some of them are just doing leadership differently, some of them are impacting lives in a different way. And this evening, we're going to have Samuel Boadu, a young man, 25-year-old, who is thinking differently. He's looking at life totally differently so that other people can learn. All right. So welcome Asantiwa Adolf from Christositas Toastmasters. Thank you so very much. Kofi Boboni is here. Oh, it's Gina. Okay, Gina from London, GP. Hey, Gina, how are you? Eager to hear from Sam. It's incredible, his background and vision. Wonderful. Thank you so much, Gina, too. You are an incredible. One of these days, you have to come on the leadership platform to share with us, also from London. Great. At this point, I think I'll bring Samuel on board, and we were going to have a discussion. Sarah is also here. At one point, I'll bring Sarah, and Joy is here. We're going to have Joy also come in to ask Samuel a few questions. So, Samuel, good evening and welcome to the Leadership Platform. How are you?
Good evening, sir. I'm very fine. I hope everyone is fine as well.
Everybody is fine. If there is one word that describes how you are feeling at this point, what would that one word be?
Um, I would say happy. Happy. Looking at how far I have come, where I started from, and how far God has brought me. I would say, in fact, the better word is thankful. Thankful to God for how far He has brought me.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. And we are thankful and happy to have you on the leadership platform to share your story with us and with the world. So we would begin from the beginning, just to get to know you a bit more. Tell us briefly about your family background. Where were you born? What type of family did you grow up in? You know, some of us grew in the village. We walking several kilometers to go to school. Some of you in Accra, you are at bus. So maybe, but tell us, what is your family background, and and share with us.
Right. Thank you. And I welcome everyone who is also listening to us today. And Samuel Boadu is a young guy, as you've already mentioned. He's just a 25-year-old boy who was born in Nyinunsu in the Ashanti region of Ghana, around on the Nyinahini Road. Yeah, so that is where I was born. And I came from, should I say, a poor background. Um, the type where we go to the farm to as our usual work in the beginning. So I was my grandfather's favorite. So everywhere my grandfather goes, I was there. He was a hunter and a farmer as well. So anytime he goes to the farm, I'm there with him. And it was very difficult to see him without me. Even if he's going for some early meetings, you see me with him. So I had the village life. When I say village life, I'm talking about eating mushrooms, crabs, and other things like that. So yes, I had a village.
Sam,
I
in
had that
Accra
village
too,
life.
we eat mushrooms and crabs. So what's the difference? I mean, how many were you in the family? I get the impression that your father, your parents were farmers. And how many were you? And which number are you?
Okay, so my mother gave up to just two boys. So I am the second born and the beloved last born as well. So I get a lot of pampering because of that.
Bless. Yeah,
And
bless.
yes, yeah. But my mom had been in Accra, and I was with my grandparents in Kumasi. So I grew up with my grandparents in Kumasi. Then in 2007, I moved to Accra to school. Yeah. So that is how the transition went.
Okay. So tell us about school. What schools did you go to and where?
So when I came to Accra, there's this small private school around Spintex called Knowledge and Wisdom Academy. So that was where I started my kindergarten school from. And then when I go to class three, I think it was a very small school. So the school ended at class three. So
Mhm.
after class three, I had to change schools and look for a different school where I can get class four and above. So I went to another school called Knowledge and Wisdom Academy, and from class four up to JHS two, that was where I was schooling. Then after at JHS two, due to some financial issues here and there, I had to move to Teacher Mante, which is between Insawam and Suhum in the eastern region, to finish my junior high school there. So from junior high, I went to KNUST SHS in Kumasi. Around
Okay.
that is is a Body Junction, Kumasi, very close to Tech, the KNUST University. So that's where I went to my senior high, and that was where my journey actually began from, with the NGO and others.
All right. Did you go to university? And we'll come to your journey, but after, did you go to university after senior high?
No, I didn't go to the university. After senior high, I just went straight into business.
All right. That's into. So we will go straight into business then. All right. So tell me, business. What was the motivation? I mean, everybody finishing senior high wants to go to the university, get a degree, do a master's, finish, come to the world, get employed, and so on. And if they don't get employment, join the unemployed association. What what was the motivation? Why didn't go to the university? What was the motivation to start a business at that age? How old were you after senior high?
I was 20 after senior high. And then
Okay.
actually, I didn't, um, the business I started after senior high wasn't actually my first business. I started doing business at 16 years. So I was 16 years when I started my first business. So it was a network marketing company. And I think that was GHS2 second term. That time it was first term, second term, third term. So GHS2 second term, that was when I started my first business. So it was a network marketing company. So even though I was in GHS all the way to the SHS, I was doing some small side businesses. But it was after SHS I decided to go full time into business.
And the network
And
marketing, what were you doing? What were you selling?
that was mostly supplements, food
Okay.
supplements. So vitamins and minerals and things like that. We're doing health talk, but it was mainly supplements.
Okay. And you were doing this because there was no money home to take care of your school, or what was the motivation?
Okay, so for the motivation, it started back when I was 16 years old. In fact, I was younger than that when that motivation started, but just that I didn't know what to do until I was 16. So the motivation was just the fact that I didn't like the situation I'm in. I didn't like the financial status of my family. So I told myself that I was going to do something to actually change the situation I came to meet. I know my parents, grandparents, they did their best. Um, and in my time, I wanted to also do my best and take the family to a higher um, ground. Let me put it in that way. And also, I'm someone who actually loves my country a lot. Maybe people will not believe that. I have a small car and I've put a flag on it. Whenever people see it, they're like, "Hey, are you the president or something?" I actually love my country a lot. So from a young age to when I hear people saying they want to travel abroad or this country is better than Ghana, I used to feel bad. Why is it sounding as if every other country is better than Ghana? I didn't like that. So growing up, I always had that passion there that I wanted to change things in my family and in the country as well. So that passion was what drove me into business, and I started business in when I was in JHS2. But after SHS, in fact, it started before I left SHS. We were given a group work to work on drug abuse, and as we all know, for group works, even if you are 50 in the group and just one person did the work, if you get 1/10, 1/20, the whole group gets 1/20. So I don't joke with my group work a lot. I don't joke with my group works at all. Even if maybe some members of the group are not very active, I try my best to do what I can. So it was on drug abuse, and I did a lot of research. I came up with a huge book. So at the end, I think we got 18/20. We had the highest. That was in SHS.
Wow.
Yes, it was a social studies group work. We had the highest 18/20. But after the project, I wasn't satisfied. I was asking myself, so I did all this research just for 20 marks. Can't I get something else from this book? So I did my research and I realized that there's this institution here in Ghana that works on drug abuse or does things relating to anti-drug abuse campaigns and others. So I reached out to them. That is the Narcotics Control Board back then. Now it is the Narcotics Control Commission. So I reached out to them, and I was directed to the headquarters in Kumasi, the Ashanti Regional Headquarters. So I went there. The situation was a bit dramatic, but I found my way in, and I was able to talk to the regional commander. When I got there, he asked me a question: "What do you want us to do for you?" But when I was going there, I had it in mind that once I gave him the book and I told him, "Show me what I can do with the book," maybe they were going to show me what to do with it. But they also threw the question back to me: how do you want us to help you? Or what do you want us to do for you? So, giving it some thought, I told them I wanted to be a drug abuse ambassador, an anti-drug abuse ambassador. And I was advised that if possible, I should start it as a club in my school. And within about 2 weeks, I started it in about 5 schools in Ashanti region. I was able to
Wow.
link, yes, I was able to link with other student leaders in Ashanti region. I was part of the SRC of my school, so it wasn't very difficult for me to actually do that. So I was able to link to some other schools and we were able to spread it out. I got to a point where we needed funding to push the club, I weren't getting the funding. I was supposed to get some letters from my school, which I didn't get. So we couldn't get the funding. And after I left school, I decided to write to the institutions myself. So I went to the headquarters in Accra, the Narcotics Control Commission headquarters in Accra, delivered some letters. And whilst I was looking around, I went back to the passion I had when I was younger, that I wanted to help make this country better. So looking around, I told myself that no, drug abuse is not the only challenge we are facing. So why should I limit myself just to drug abuse whilst there are other things we can also do to help the country? So to cut a long story short, that was what pushed me to actually start an NGO called PAM Foundation. So I started the NGO in 2019.
You said the NGO is what? Palm Foundation. What is the meaning of Palm?
PAM Foundation is Patriots Alliance Movement. So PAM Foundation. But in
Okay.
Tree, we have how we put it. You see, PAM, PAM has actually two words in the Tree language. It is PAM. That is sew or put something together using a thread and a needle. And then PAM,
Okay.
chase something away. So it's PAM and PAM. So
Okay.
summarize you, we were just trying to put together what is broken or mend what is broken in the country and chase away anything which we feel wouldn't help our country. So we started with
Wow.
paradigm shift campaigns. Yes, we started with paradigm shift campaigns, educating the youth on things we believe will change our mindsets about. Um, People drink water, you see someone in trotro, maybe the person drinks water and throw it out the window. We educate them, tell them no, you shouldn't be doing this. And the drug abuse too, we're doing it. We're also doing that as well. We're organizing campaigns, educating the youth to stay away from drugs, and we also went a bit into a project we called Financial Rescue. We launched a project called Financial Rescue under the youth empowerment wing of the NGO. So the NGO had three main things we were doing: change of mindset, youth empowerment, and supporting the less privileged. So under change of
Now,
mindset, we're
now, Sam,
organizing.
Sam, tell me something. You are a young guy. You have finished secondary school. You haven't been to the university. There are all these big men and women around. Why? What was the thinking to take on something as huge as changing mindset? You know, youth empowerment. You yourself, were you
Yeah.
empowered? What was your own empowerment? You were, what is that?
So
Where did that
this
come
actually
from?
reminds me of someone I spoke to back then. I spoke to someone, and there was a project we wanted to launch. We realized that in some of the rural areas, a farmer goes to his farm, and maybe by the next day when he goes there, these sun winners and others will just go to his land and start digging sand without his permission. And sometimes when he confronts them, they actually beat him on top. So I actually witnessed things like that. So I didn't like it. And we tried launching a project called Justice for the Poor. And I spoke to someone who I believe could help us push the project. And when I told him the name of the project, he said, Charlie Wanga here justice maybe because you're also poor. So, so he said, I also needed the justice because if I'm saying justice for the poor, I'm also not rich. So I also need some of that justice. So even though I didn't have money, I didn't have the means, there was this I don't know if I should call it a calling. I was feeling it in me that I have to do something about this. Because whenever I see something, I say someone needs to do something about this. This is not good. Someone needs to do something about it. And I ask myself, who? If
Yeah,
I compare it with the story of Joseph, he told the king that there's a famine coming, so get someone to gather food. And the king asked him, if no you, who?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so yeah, we don't know any other wise person who can do this apart from you. So I usually tell people that whenever you feel like someone needs to do something about this, sometimes it is actually a calling. It's actually something that you actually need to do because why is it that there are many people out there and they haven't seen the
The
importance
need.
of doing something about it, and you have
Yeah.
seen it. So it could be your calling. So that was what kept me going. That's if I have seen it and I'm telling people that something needs to do to be done about it, and no one is doing it, it means I have to actually do what I can. So even though the funds
Yeah,
weren't
that was,
there, we did what we could.
yeah, Sam, that is very, very impressive. And I like the idea that when you are seeing something that needs to be corrected, you ask yourself, why somebody else? And if all of us are thinking this way, maybe we'll put more energy into correcting things instead of just commenting and talking about them. So that is actually very powerful, very, very powerful statement. All right. So now you have your palm, poor people looking for justice for the poor, and so on and so forth. Then what happened?
So, in the course of pushing Palm, as I said, we launched a project called Financial Rescue under the Youth Empowerment and supporting the less privileged. So, we organized skill acquisition programs like soap making. I was looking for people to teach making for free. I wasn't getting. So, I actually went to learn it myself so I can teach it to people for free. So, we're teaching things like soap making, graphic design. I did similar with the graphic designing as well until later I got graphic designers who were willing to help. So we're teaching soap making, graphic designing, web development, and other skills that we believe can actually help the youth do something on their own instead of just sitting idle and waiting to get a job. So we were doing such things. We even attempted a blood donation program, but for that we weren't able to execute it. And it was also because of financial constraints. So I wrote to some institutions who I believe could have helped. I Back then I wrote to a Ministry of Sanitation and Water Resources. I wrote to many other institutions, but they told me that due to their budgetary constraints, they will not be able to support us as at the time. So I
Yeah.
told myself, if that is the case, then let me push into business rather, so that if I'm able to generate revenue or income from the business, then the income I'm generating from the business can actually push the NGO. So I went back
Okay.
to my network marketing again, because that was what I started with when I was 16 years old. So that was one of the things I know how to do best. So I went back to network marketing, and through that network marketing business, I met this retired teacher from the UK, and he also got into the idea when he realized I was doing an NGO. He was very happy about it, so he was supporting me here and there. Until one day he called me and said he has a fish farm at Kokrobiti. So he called me one day and he said, Samuel, I've seen something which I believe can help me cut down my cost of feeding for my catfish farm. So I want you to do the research on it for me. So I did my research, and then I came across an amazing fly called the black soldier fly. And
Black
I
soldier fly.
yes, black soldier fly. So I dug deeper and I realized that they had huge potential. The market demand is very huge. And I usually tell people that if you're going into a business, one of the first things you should look out for is market. If there's availability of the market, it will be easier for the business to actually hold. So when I realized that there's market and it also has a lot of impact on the community, and I am someone who already wanted to make impact. So if these flies can actually make impact in the community, and I'm looking for a business to do to support my NGO, then I think this is the best business for me. So I did
Now,
the research.
I mean, flies themselves are not pleasant animals. They are black and they are soldiers.
Yeah.
So what was it about this animal that you're describing to so glamorously?
I think some of us who lived in the village might disagree with you when you say the flies are not very pleasant. But some of us ate akokono in the village.
What is alcohol now? For those of us who don't know.
So agokoro is actually a larvae, or it looks like maggot though. It's a bigger version of
Yeah,
the usual
yeah,
maggots we know, and we get
yeah.
those maggots from a fly.
From the palm
I think
tree.
the palm weevil. Yeah, the palm weevil.
Yeah,
We get
yeah.
and those are flies. So we might disagree with you when you say they are not pleasant,
They
but we
are like
actually
worms actually.
yes, and we actually enjoy those worms from the fly.
Yes, I
So
did enjoy them
now.
too at the
Yeah.
village.
Oh, okay. Then you're in the same boat with us. So so I came across the fly, and some of the things when the fly lays eggs, the eggs hatch and become larvae or worms. A layman might call them maggots, but they are not technically maggots, though. So those larvae can be used to feed poultry, fishes, pigs, and many other animals. They are very high in protein and calcium as well, and other micronutrients. So they are a very good source of protein for animal farmers. So that was the main reason why that teacher from the UK who had a farm told me to do the research about the flies. But aside that, I realized that that larvae or that worm feeds on organic waste. So food scraps
Mm,
from our kitchens, from the restaurant, fruits and vegetable waste from the market, and many others. They feed on the organic waste and convert the organic waste into biofertilizers, fertilizers that can actually be applied on crops, any kind of crop. And it actually works better than most of the inorganic fertilizers out there. CSIR
wow.
has the research. Yes. So those are the two main benefits we get from them. We use the larvae as a source of protein for animals. Then the organic waste they feed on also becomes fertilizer at the end of the cycle. So we use the larvae as feed and we use the biofertilizer on crops. Then I dug deeper and I realized that the exoskeleton of the larvae, that is the skin, in layman terms, we say the skin of the larvae,
Mm.
can actually be used to produce biodegradable plastics that can actually rot.
Wow.
Yes, and I was running an NGO campaigning about sanitation. In fact, at a point, I even brought up the idea of recycling. That is one of the main reasons why I approached the Ministry of Sanitation back then. We wanted to recycle waste, but I always thought we needed machines to do the recycling. But when I met
Mm.
these flies, I realized that we don't actually need machines to recycle at least the organic waste. The larvae can actually recycle the organic waste for us. And the research we did, when I say we, I'm talking about my business, WigglingGold Ltd. The research we did
What's the
showed
name of
that
the company again for people who are listening?
WigglingGold Ltd. And
Okay. Why do you, where from that
wiggling
name? Yes.
wiggling good because the larvae we work with or the worms we work with, they wiggle when they move. And we
Okay.
believe they are as valuable as gold.
Okay.
So that was how come we came up with the name Wiggling Gold. They wiggle when they move and they're as valuable as gold. So that was how we came up with the company name Wiggling Gold Limited. So at my company, we did a lot of research and realized that about 60 to 70% of the waste here in Ghana is actually organic waste. And
Mm.
we are complaining about our sanitation problem. And so what we realized that if we feed that 60 to 70% organic waste to the black soldier fly, meaning about 70% of our sanitation problem is gone.
Mm.
Now, in our research, we realized that when you take off the organic waste, the next biggest component of our waste is plastics. And
Mm-hmm.
we are finding it difficult to manage them because they don't degrade, they don't
Mm.
rot.
Yeah.
And we realized that the exoskeleton of the larvae, that is the skin of the larvae, can be used to produce biodegradable plastics that can actually rot to
I
replace
see.
the plastics we have currently in the system.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so we realized that if we feed the 70% organic waste to the black soldier fly larvae, and then we replace the non-biodegradable waste, which is the plastics, with the biodegradable plastics from the black soldier fly, about 90% of our sanitation problem is gone.
Wow.
So that's one of the reasons why I fell in love with these flies and I decided to do it as a business. And aside that,
But
there are many other
where
benefits.
do you find these flies? Where do you find these flies?
They're actually in the wild and they are in our environment as well, but they are not as common as the musca, that is the house fly. They are not as common as the house fly, but they are in our
Okay.
environment. So we have what we call the attractant. We do that to attract them from wherever they are, and we are able to get their eggs and grow them. Aside that, there are consultants here in Ghana, like WigglingGold Limited, who sell the starter pack. So someone needs a little of the larvae to start their own facility to test how it works. They can get it from companies like that. Aside that, they can also be attracted from the wild.
And you so now describe what you do now with this uh, insects. You attract them or you grow them like what? How does it work? Are you do you have a kind of a farm where you grow these flies?
Yes, we do. We started at Kokrobiti after I did that research for the retired teacher from the UK who is also a farmer. So we started
Mm-hmm.
a Kokrobiti, a very small setup. Then we gradually upskilled. But when I was starting, I didn't have capital. This was a senior high school student, and I started this in 2022. This business in 2022. So back then I was just 22 years, a young guy who had just left senior high school, and even the network marketing business I was doing, it was basically what someone would say hand to mouth. So I didn't really have any capital to start this as a business. So I started by doing a lot of research and practicing it a lot. And after gaining the knowledge, I decided to sell that knowledge. So I
Okay.
started with training. So I started training a few people, and a little money I got from there, I started a small farm. And later I got a farmer who was willing to partner with my business. So we decided to set up a partnership at Esuboy. So as I
Mm.
speak, we have a farm at Esuboy, which is between Nsawam and Suhum in the eastern region of Ghana. And we have a 4-ton facility there, meaning we produce 4,000 kilos of the larvae monthly over there.
Wow. Wow. And when you produce, you said there's a lot of market. So who do you sell to?
Okay, so for the markets, there are fish farmers, they buy, the poultry farmers buy, pig farmers buy. Some people also buy to feed their pets. Then there are animal feed producers. They are the biggest markets. As for them, when we talk to them, we don't ask them what quantity do they want to buy. They ask us what quantity can we produce. The market is
Wow.
very huge. Yes. And for the farm, they also buy a lot because it is cheaper than the conventional source of protein. They usually use fish meal and soya bean. And fish meal and soya bean are usually higher when it comes to the price. The price is usually higher and it's not stable. So because it is being imported. So there are times when the dollar rate rises, the prices also rise. When it falls, then it comes down a bit. So due to those fluctuations, that it doesn't actually help their production systems. And we realized that about 70% of the animal farms that have collapsed here in Ghana is just because of feed. Their feed is the
Mm.
feed was just too expensive for them to buy. So now that we are presenting them with an alternative which is cheaper and more nutritious, I'm saying more nutritious because an alternative like fish meal, even though it has, sorry, an alternative like soya bean, even though it has protein in it, when you break it down into the amino acids, there are some amino acids that are not found in it, but are found in fish meal. So most of the farmers are forced to use fish meal and soya bean. And when you go to the fish meal side too, the price is far higher than the soya bean. And secondly, getting pure fish meal here currently is very difficult. Most of the fish meal the farmers buy now are adulterated.
Yeah.
So many farmers are now looking for a source where they can get pure protein and at a price which is stable. So that is where the black soya fly comes in.
Yeah. Now, Samuel, I mean, as you speak, I'm just thinking, you finished senior at high school, you didn't go to the university, but you are talking about subjects in high level science, research, economics, business. And I'm asking myself, I mean, people have gone to business school. There is a CSIR, the Center for Scientific Research, and all that. Now, as you go on with this, what have you come to learn about our educational system and all these institutions and what we should be doing as a people? It's a big
Okay,
question, but
so
I just want you to the mindset that you are is driving you, what you are learning, and so on, because you haven't gone to any science school to learn all
no.
those things, but you're doing some research, some very serious research, and putting them into practice. So talk to us.
Okay. So if I'm to talk about our educational system, I think the main issue I have with it is the fact that it's a bit too theoretical. When I started this business, I spoke with a friend of mine who was a student in a university here in Ghana. I don't want to mention the name of the university, and it's a very popular university, though one of the best universities in Ghana. So I spoke to him about the black soldier fly. And as we were talking, he said, I think I've heard about these flies. You let me get back to you. So he called me in about an hour and then he showed me one of his slides from one of his lecturers. And the name black soldier fly is actually in his slides. And the sad aspect is that the name is just there, it has just been mentioned, but it didn't go deeper as to what the fly can do, the benefits you can get from them. So this person might finish school, come home, and will now be looking for a job. Whilst if maybe if he was taught about the importance of the fly or what we can get from the fly, maybe he could have created a job for himself before leaving school. He's in a university, it has just been mentioned in his slides. And I am at home doing the practical version, and he might finish
Mhm.
school and he might look for a job from me.
Yeah,
While
he will.
it's actually in
He
his
will.
slides.
He will actually look for a job from you. it's a it's a very, very interesting. Well, thank you so much. I mean, it's getting so interesting. I don't know if Joy or Sarah, any of you are ready to come and jump in, but I mean, yeah, Sarah, talk to
Yes,
us. I
yes.
mean, you have some questions. I have a few, but I want you to come in. And
Indeed, I have some
everybody who
questions.
is online, if you have some questions, please go ahead and share your questions. Sarah, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Samuel. This is very, very interesting. I just want to commend you. As you were
Thank you.
speaking, all I can say, I was thinking, I said, okay, here you are, you met or you discovered the black soldier fly, and you have done the research and seen what this can do, right? You didn't have money, you were able to use your own innovative ways in getting started. So it looks as if you have a blueprint now, right? A blueprint for people to start business when it comes to the black soldier fly larva. If I'm to start now, for the first 30 days, what do you think I need to do?
Okay, thank you. Uh, for starters, what I usually recommend is training. That you get trained so you know exactly what you are going to do. Because
Mm,
let me just chip this in. One of the problems I've witnessed, at least here in Ghana, is that people set up farms, especially in the agri space. People set up farms. If I should use a poultry farm for example, you go to a poultry farm and they have about 10 workers, 15 workers. A huge poultry farm, they have over 10,000 beds. And sometimes you realize that there's no single person in the farm who is actually properly trained.
mm-hmm.
So all the workers know is that when it's 12 o'clock, give them this feed, give them this, give them that. So even if there's maybe an infection which is slowly spreading, they don't notice it quickly. By the time they realize, it has taken over the farm. So in black soldier fly production or any other agribusiness, you would want to try. The first step I recommend is to get trained. Get someone who is actually consulting for you, guiding you. So that is the first step. Then after getting trained at Wiggling Gold, we'll give you a starter pack. We'll give you some of the larvae that will eventually turn into flies. Uh, you can start with. And when they turn into flies, they lay eggs for you. You harvest the eggs, they grow into the larvae, and you can either feed it to animals or sell to farmers. Then at the end of the cycle, after harvesting the larvae to feed to your animals or to sell to farmers, we have the biofertilizers as well, because whatever they feed on becomes fertilizers.
Wow. Wow. So the first 30 days, I can get the training, or what is the duration so that people know exactly what they are getting themselves into? For young people who have come out of senior high and they want to go into this business, what is the duration for them?
Okay, thank you. The beginners training is actually a day. It's just a day.
Okay.
But we have people who actually book for maybe they intentionally book for an extended training, maybe a 3 day training or a 1 week training. But the
Mhm.
usual we do is just a day. And we have it in two ways. We have group trainings and we have on-site trainings. So for the group trainings, we have a training center at Ajirengano Legon where we do our trainings. Whoever is interested can join that training. Aside the group trainings, we have on-site training as well. So for that one, wherever you are here in Ghana, or even if you're outside Ghana, you just book for that training. We come to you where you are. whether it's your farm, your home, we come there, train you on how to actually grow them, and you start from there.
All right. And I hear, thank you so much for that. Sam did ask you, Sam and Sam, sorry, the two Sams. So Sam number one and Sam number two. So first, Sam did ask you about how you trained your mindset, having this discipline and resilience. And this is what we are looking for in leaders. Tell us a little bit about your daily routines, who your mentors are, what you've been reading, or what community is really impacting the way that you think.
Okay. Thank you for the question. For my daily routine, or for what actually gets me in shape, what actually disciplines me as to how I should do my things and others. First of all, I'll say books. I love books a lot. And whenever I say this, people are like, I didn't go to university, I'm saying you love books. Yes, I love books a lot. But even when I was in the SHS, in the senior high school, I was doing it. I usually read books that are extracurricular. So books that actually teach people how to do business, how to discipline themselves as business people, CEOs and others. I love books like that. And my personal favorite is also public speaking books. So someone like Dale Carnegie, I've read a lot of books he has written, because most of his books are either around public speaking or uh, human relations. And
Mhm.
I think that's one other thing that has helped me a lot. And for mentors, I have some who guide me in the business space. I have mentors who guide me here as to the best ways I can actually uh, drive my business. I don't know if they would like me to mention their names here, so I wouldn't mention. And then aside the business space, in leadership in general, I have other mentors as well. Mr. Ayim here is one of my mentors who is currently guiding me in Toastmasters and in real life as well. So I have such people who guide me. But when I started, the truth is I didn't have someone to guide me when I started, because I didn't have maybe money to pay for maybe a good consultant to actually guide me. So it was just the books. If I get any book, I'll read. There were times when I was reading like 3 books a day. I was
Mhm.
actually very hungry. Yeah. And I was always telling myself that if I didn't come from a rich family must come out of me. So I think that was
Amen.
one of the
Wow.
things that was driving me. Yeah.
Wonderful,
Wonderful. If I
wonderful,
don't come for a rich family has to come out from me. What a bold statement. Sam, if you yeah, that is
Thank
wonderful. That
you.
is wonderful.
Yeah.
So
I,
definitely
I'm
we're
wondering
looking,
if
yeah.
Joy is available to come in for some Gen Z questions. But Sam, what are some of the guiding philosophies and principles that govern your life?
I'll say, and first of all, is honesty. I'm someone who, or if I broaden it a bit, I'll say integrity. I believe that if I meet you today, even if for some reasons today you are not very, excuse my language, important to me, I might meet you someday and you might be a very important person, and maybe without you, I might not be able to achieve something here or something there. So I try my best, and I try my best to put that into the workers I work with currently. Uh, Whatever we are doing, we try to be very transparent with the people we deal with, and that has helped me a lot. And also communication, because I've followed Dale Carnegie a lot. I've realized that communication is very important. Um, I'm going to a client and maybe I'm supposed to meet the client on Friday. If for some reasons I think I can't make it on Friday, or I'll be late on Friday, Wednesday I'll call the client and tell him something came up for some reasons we can't make it on Friday. If it says okay, refund my money, we do that. It's better than oh we'll come. Then it gets to Friday and I give him stories. So that's one of the things that has helped me a lot. And I don't joke with communication. Whenever, even if we are on your project and something is going wrong, we let you know that this is what is actually happening. Even if the person gets upset, at least we've been playing with the person. So that's one thing that has helped me, and I've actually kept most of the people I've done business with. Even when I was doing network marketing, there are people who travel abroad. They go, and whenever they come back, they still want me to be the one to supply them with supplements. Even to date, now I'm
Mhm.
no longer into network marketing, but still there are people who, when they come back to Ghana, they are like, Sammy, I know you have stopped doing the business, but I want you to get me the product. So I'll go there and get it for them. So those are some of the things I've been practicing and has been helping me a lot. And whenever someone asks me what's ac- what are some of the things that have actually pushed me to where I am today, I usually give them three things. I tell them self-confidence, strong will. What my mantra is, where there's a will, there's a way.
Mhm.
If truly you are willing to do something and the will is very strong, maybe you might not be able to do it in 1 week or 1 month or 3 months, but in 2 years you will do it. You will surely find a way and you will do it. So that is the second thing. And third thing, I don't joke with God. So it's self-confidence, strong will, and a big God.
Wow.
Wow.
Wow. Thank you for
This is
that.
beautiful.
Beautiful. Yeah.
This is amazing and amazing. So now I'm just thinking this one, this flies. How do you keep them? Because flies are all over the place. I mean, how do you I mean, physically, how do you keep the flies? I mean, who wants to live
Thank
with
you.
flies?
Thank you.
Except when
We
they
have
make
a net.
money.
We have a net we call the love net. We call it love nets because that's where they meet. The flies, they are males and females. So that's where they meet. So that is why we call that net the love net. So it's actually an enclosed net. It has been sewn in the form of a cube. All sides have been closed and the flies are in there. Then we have a small part we've opened where we put the larvae or the worms and wait for them to actually emerge and become flies. So we have a net we keep them in, and when we give them something they should lay the eggs into. So we put that into the net, and when they lay eggs into those things, it's just wood planks with some holes in it. We put it in the net, and they lay eggs into the holes, and we take those wood planks out and harvest the eggs.
Wow.
Wow.
You know
Anyway,
what?
we'll
You
come to
did.
your farm one of these days.
Yeah.
I don't know if you
Uh,
had some videos or something, but Joy is
so
here.
it's free to
Joy,
come. It's free.
Joy,
Yes,
anything? I mean,
yes,
I'm
yes,
just
yes.
amazed.
Yes, it's been an incredible conversation. Thank you so much, Samuel, for sharing your story with us. I mean, this is the first time I'm hearing of Wiggle Gold and the work that you are doing. I'm curious about, I mean, your relationship with people older than you when you, I mean, from 16, you know, if I remember when I was 16, I had a lot of aunties, church members who are older than me, all telling you what plans you should be charting for yourself, including, I mean, for you not even going to the formal university curriculum. I mean, how did you deal with those external voices and what people think you should chart your path with? I'm curious about that. And probably the second one would be, how did you also deal with, as a young person, there's so many things today young people want to do, including, I mean, hang out, you know, spending their monies on different things. But what would you say guided you as a young person to keep that discipline, that focus, and determination to where you are now?
Thank you. So, starting with your first question, how I dealt with older people, and I think it was a bit easy for me. It was a bit easy for me because I mentioned that I was my grandfather's favorite. So I used to move with him wherever he goes. So after he passed away, may he so rest in peace. For some way somehow, I ended up getting friends who are older than me. So most about 90% or even not more of the people I call friends who are close to me, I can call friends. Most of them are people who are far older than me. So because of the relationship I had with old people, it made it a bit easy for me to actually talk to them and convince them, sound convincing enough for them to actually believe in what I'm doing. So when it comes to family or friends, I mean, other people in general, coming in and saying, no, you shouldn't do this, you should do that. Yes, I had that a few times, but it wasn't very difficult because I was able to actually explain to them and make it clear, make the vision clear. When I talk to them, they're able to understand what I want to do. So because they were able to understand the vision I had, it was a bit easier for them to actually allow me. Just that they were a bit scared for me. That, hey, what if it doesn't work? You have the vision to do this, to do that, but what if it doesn't work? We don't have the money to push you. We don't have this. We don't have that. So what if it doesn't work? But I kept believing that it will work. And then the second question, what kept me disciplined? Um, I think the best answer I can give is Christianity, is my relationship with God. Because if as a Christian, me going out to maybe nightclubs and drinking and smoking or things like that, the Bible itself already guides me from such habits. And secondly, because most of my friends were older than me, it wasn't easy for none of them actually told me maybe let's go and out and look for girls or something. But if maybe I had friends that were my age, it would have been easier for me to go into things like that. But because most of my friends were older than me, they had families and they were thinking of how to provide for their families, how to push their businesses. So whenever I'm talking to them, that's the conversation. They are talking about family life, they are talking about their businesses. So the conversation was always high. So whenever I talk to my age mates, some of them actually, in fact, most of them don't actually enjoy my conversations.
Yeah.
But it's like my conversations are other people's conversations. So when I was in SHS, most of them tagged me as being a bit weird because
Yeah.
You
I was doing
far ahead of
adult
your
Yeah.
age.
adult
Yeah.
things. Yes.
I mean, two very important things you've said about clarity of your vision, and you even talked about
Mhm.
writing it down so that whenever you are speaking to anybody, your vision is very clear, And I think it's one practice that any young leader must adopt if you're listening to us and you don't already have that, because there are going to be so many competing ideas. Tomorrow you see somebody doing shoemaking. Tomorrow you see someone doing what's it called, hair business, and you're just torn because your vision is not consolidated, it's not crystallized. So we need to spend time doing that, and you were able to convince people because you knew exactly what you wanted to do. And the second bit reminds me of the network and the company we keep. Some time ago, I heard a mentor say this, which changed my life around. He said, Joy, if you are the smartest person in your group or in your small circle, then you need to change your group. If you are the only person they are coming to for advice, then you are in class one. You should move to class two.
If
And
you
so
are
I
always
started
the
to
top,
look
if you
for.
are always the top of your class, you are in the wrong
You
class.
are in the
Yeah,
wrong
yeah.
class. You need to go to a higher level where people would also compete strongly with you. And I started to change my network as well. So it's a very important point you've made right there. Very interesting conversation, Uncle Sam.
Very, very interesting. And there
Very
are a few
interesting.
people online, and let's see what they are saying. And just see, just in case there's some questions.
Yes,
Asantua
there is.
Ado is here. Joy, maybe you want to pick some of the questions if you can see
Okay.
them
All right.
clearly, or
So
the
let
comments. Go
me.
ahead. Kofi
Uh,
Bobini is here. Oh, that's
Problem.
Georgina. We
Yes,
talked about
Gina.
that.
Yeah.
Okay. Then there is Abna Sika. Continue from there, Joy.
Hi, Abnasika.
let's see. So I was here just going a little bit up
Abna Sika
to.
is there.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Yes,
Then there's Ben
Abnasika. Okay,
Aye.
Toastmaster. All right. Then Ben. Then Abnasika said impressive.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think
Mm-hmm.
you also have somebody watching and saying hi from Tanzania. That's Fiona. Yeah,
Hello.
very
Okay.
smart
All
young
right.
man.
Fiona.
A lot of commendations coming up for you.
From this is from Sam Isimeng, I think, and then well, is it? I don't say is it Madam Judge or High Court Judge or
Her ladyship.
her ladyship. All right, please. Apologies. The ladyship is proud of you as well. So many
Thank you.
commendations coming in. Yeah, I think the question. Maybe let me read this from Gina. Yeah, she says, if I'm interested in getting on board as a humble business partner to expand this great vision both locally and tapping into the international market as well, how does that sound? That's the
Brilliant.
reason we do TLP. So, Sam, this is for you. Yeah.
Okay, that sounds good. And we actually open, we have mentioned that in most of our interviews, we actually open to partnerships as well. Aside the fact that we do setups for people, people actually call us to set up facilities for them. If that is what someone wants, we are willing to do that. Aside that, when it comes to partnerships, we are open to that as well. So I would say, I think the name was Gina. So I would say, Gina, reach out to us before this conversation ends. We'll put out ways you can reach out. So you can reach out to us, and we can discuss terms of that partnership and get it started. I also look forward to working with you very soon.
I know Gina, so I can be the broker. Take
Okay.
commission from
The middleman is here. You see now?
Very good.
all right.
Awesome. Awesome. And
But
Jamal
Jamel
also
says,
has,
yeah,
yeah,
go ahead.
this guy is fantastic. I was at the last training, very humble and respectful. Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jamal, for that
Thank you.
testimony. Yes.
Thank you.
So,
There's
excellent.
Kofi Boboni says something there. My
That's Gina. That's the
Yes,
last the
Gina.
question I picked up.
oh, okay,
Yes.
okay. All right, that's fine.
I
All
also
right. So
wanted to flag the fact that Samuel talked about reading, and it's one of our CTO. We talk about it. We have an episode dedicated to to review books together. So, I mean, if you haven't got the opportunity to go to the university and you are thinking, where will I get the money from? If you pass by even Underbridge, you see some guys selling books, 20 cities, 50 cities. That's a whole 1 year of university education. And we have
absolutely.
Samuel as a testament to this. So we just want to encourage everyone to keep taking their reading seriously.
Yeah.
All
And
right.
I mean, if anybody's looking for any leadership book, reach out to CTL. We have a whole library that
Yeah.
you can pick any book from also. But
Yeah.
Samuel, you said something that I really am very curious before the time comes up. I want you to answer the question for me. You did say that you were diverting about 120 tons of organic waste annually, right?
Yes.
Mitigating that. And that is about 720 metric tons of methane. Help us picture what impact that means in real life. How is this changing the communities in Ghana, the farms, and the sanitation and environment? What is the impact?
Okay, thank you once again. And if I'm to generalize it a bit so that the layman will easily
Yeah.
understand what I'm saying,
Mm-hmm.
um, I already mentioned that we have a big sanitation problem here in Ghana. Our
Yes.
landfill sites are full, and day in, day out, they are now looking for new places to dump it. There are times when there's an outbreak of cholera and others, and it's
Mm-hmm.
all because of sanitation. The
That's right.
amount I've lost track of the millions of dollars we spend annually just to actually contain our sanitation problem, not solve it, but contain it.
Mm-hmm.
So and these are animals that feed on organic waste. So whatever organic waste is out there, if we're able to expand and produce on a larger scale, most of the organic waste out there will be able to take that organic waste and feed it to the black soya fly. And
Mm-hmm.
whenever the black soya fly is feeding on the organic waste, the methane, the other carbon dioxide, the other gases that could have gone up there, the science people will say to deplete the ozone layer and others,
Mm-hmm.
those those issues are solved just by the black soldier fly feeding on the organic waste, because we are no longer leaving it out there for it to degrade on its own for the methane to emit into the atmosphere. But
Yeah.
the BSF larvae feeds on it, and we are able to solve that problem. And one amazing thing about the black soldier fly larvae is that they don't bite and they don't transmit any diseases. In fact, they are allelopathic. When we say they are allelopathic, it means they're
Allelopathic.
able to
That's a new word I'm hearing. Allelopathic. Okay.
allelopathic.
Allelopathic.
Allelopathic. Okay.
Yeah. When we say they are allelopathic, it means they're able to neutralize diseases in the waste. So let's say there is cholera in the food waste you are giving them. By the time they are done feeding on the food waste, there's no more cholera in it.
So
They are
why
that
is
powerful.
the Ministry of Environment not working with you?
We are still waiting for them. The Ministry of Food and Agric sent people to our facility beginning of this year, and they said they'll get back to us. So we are hoping they'll get back to us soon. And aside the sanitation aspect, there's a side of job creation and reducing imports. We import over $600 million worth of chicken alone annually.
Wow.
The reason is because our local poultry farmers can't produce the quantity we need. And the reason why they can't produce it, if you talk to any animal farmer, they will tell you that it's because of the feed. Once they increase their capacity, they would have to bring in more feed. And the feed is very expensive. The price is not stable. Even getting pure protein is difficult for them. Most of the protein that they get is adulterated. So the feeding is one of the main problems. So the government has even rolled out an initiative recently called the Feed to Table Initiative. There's a local name called the Nkoko Nkete Project, and
Uh-huh.
um, yeah, they are helping build more poultry farms, giving people birds to raise. It's a very good initiative, but if we don't work on the feed aspect, that project will fail, because there are
Yeah.
many farms out there. There are many poultry farms out there, but the reasons why those farms are failing is because of feed.
Wow. And so what
Yes.
is
All
the
right.
gap? What is the gap? How can we fill that gap?
Black
For
soldier
filling the
ants.
gap, filling the gap is black
Black
sea flies.
soldier
Yes.
flies.
Yes, but
And
what is the
why?
gap? What is the gap that we are looking at? Because I know you're a practical person. So that's why I'm asking you this question. What is the gap that as a nation or in the agri for poultry, for instance, what is the gap? What does it look like?
Okay. So looking at the capacity of black soldier fly larvae we should produce to actually fill that gap is very huge. We are talking of tens of thousands of tons. So that is very huge. But what we are currently pushing for is that we know that this problem can't be solved in a day, but
Mm-hmm.
we can start from somewhere. So what we are doing currently at Wiggling Gold is that initially we were just producing, and then we tried to focus on production alone after we raised some small capital, and we realized that it's not helping because the demand on ground is huge. Whenever we tell people that we are producing 4 tons of the live larvae monthly, they are like, oh, 4,000 kilos, that's huge. But the problem is there's one fish farm, just one fish farm. In 2022, they won the best fish farmers in Ghana. And
Mm-hmm.
that fish farm alone, they are requesting for 100 tons of the dried larvae monthly.
Okay.
Just one farm. And we are
Wow.
producing 4 tons of live larvae. So we are joking. If you
Mm-hmm.
compare it to the size of the market out there, we are joking. And that's from just one fish farm. And for the fish farmers, the poultry farmers, the pig farmers, the quantities they buy is even a bit lower as compared to the feed producers. They buy in huge capacities. So currently, what we are pushing for, what we are doing more is training the farmers, because we realize that I want the farmers to wait for us to actually produce before they can buy from us. It will take a long time. So we are currently training the farmers on how they can produce it on their own. So if you're a farmer, you have some small capital, you can set it up, produce it on your own, and feed your animals. If you're a business person and you have some capital, you can set it up, produce, and sell, so that gradually we can fill the gap. And we are calling on the government to also support. Currently, we are targeting a 100-ton facility. We have
Mm-hmm.
done 4 tons. We have started with a 20-ton partnership. We are not done. We are still in the process. We are building, and we are targeting at least 100 tons in the next 5 years. So we are hoping that private people, government can actually support that vision, so that we can, if we're able to produce 100 tons, even though it will not meet the demand here in Ghana, it will at least reduce the burden on farmers.
Okay.
Samuel, how much investment are we talking about if you want to do
Exactly.
100?
Yeah.
How much
Mhm.
is required?
Okay,
Somebody
so
has the money somewhere.
that part is a bit technical, but based on
Mm,
our experience, I can give you some figures. When I say a bit technical, usually we visit the place. We were at Afram Plains this week, and we've gone to Adeso as well. So we're at Afram Plains on Tuesday, and we're at Adeso on Thursday. We went to conduct feasibility studies. So after those studies, we're able to actually um, give you the size of facility that can be set up at that place and the investment involved. But based on our experience, if I'm to give you general figures, to produce a 1 ton, to set up a 1 ton facility that is producing 1,000 kilos of the live larvae monthly, we are talking of around 100 to 150,000 cedis.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's about 1,000 to 1,500. Sorry, 10,000 to 15,000
Dollars.
dollars.
Yeah.
Yes.
dollars.
Okay.
Then yes. And if you are setting up the ones I have offhead are 1 ton, then there is a 5 ton facility. If you are setting up a 5 ton facility, you need between 600,000 to 800,000 Ghana cedis. And this for the 5 tons and above, the amounts include land, machines. And when I say machines, I'm talking about three main machines: a grinding machine, that is the machine that grinds the waste into paste or powder. When you grind the waste into
Mm,
paste or powder, they're able to consume it faster and they blow faster. So the grinding machine. Then there is the sieving machine. The sieving machine is the machine that separates the larvae from the organic waste. Then there is a drying machine. After separating the larvae from the organic waste, then we dry them for storage. If you dry them well, they will be able to stay for about 5 years without going bad. So those are the three main machines. So 5 ton facility, the amount is between 600 to 800,000 cedis, land inclusive. Those machines are inclusive. Then we actually add a means of transport, um,
Mm-hmm.
mhm,
either a truck or at least a tricycle to go around and bring in the waste. But if you rely on these drivers, there are times when they might disappoint you. If you rely
Mm.
on a private driver to bring in the waste, they might disappoint you. So the means of transport as well is part of that figure I mentioned. Then the building itself, then things like the cages, the shelves, we grow them on, scales and other things we use to grow them. So all that has been factored into the amounts I'm mentioning.
Okay.
So for a 5 ton facility, we are talking about 600 to 800,000 Ghana cedis, which is about 60 to $80,000. And
Mm.
if we want to produce a 10 ton facility, you are talking of about 1 million to 1.5 million cedis. And if we are doing 20 tons, about double of that, so about 3
Mm.
million cedis. And for the 100 tons, we need about 7 to 8 million cedis, but we are currently looking for 10 million cedis because there's a machine, one more machine we want to bring into the system. And that machine alone will be a game changer because that machine alone is about 2.5 million cedis. And
Okay.
what that machine does is that you can gather all the waste you have and put it in the machine, and the machine separates it for you into organic and inorganic. So you don't now need to go around and maybe try to sort out only the organic. You just gather any kind of waste you have, pour it into the machine. The machine separates it for you, and you can get organic waste to feed your animals. Then the inorganic waste, it will be able to separate into plastics and metals. So the plastics can go to the companies that do the recycling of plastics. Then the metals can
mhm.
also go to the companies that use the metal scraps for recycling, for cooking
Mm.
utensils and many other things like that. So if we get that machine, we'll be able to do a lot when it comes to helping to reduce the sanitation problem here in Ghana. So that is why we are currently looking for 10 million cities for the 100
10
ton
million.
facility.
10 million cities. Okay.
Wonderful,
Yeah, that's
wonderful,
just about
wonderful.
$1 million, lower than that.
Yeah,
$1 million.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Yeah, but
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that you mentioned the investment bits. I think it would be fair to talk about the revenue bits, because if you're doing like a 4 ton facility monthly, what is maybe probably minus your, should I include expenses and all of that? What's the
Expenses.
revenue like if I'm
Mm-hmm.
selling a 4 ton larvae to a fish farm or to a couple of farms? What is revenue looking like?
All right. So for revenues,
Your video is
sorry.
off.
Yeah. Okay. I think it's back now.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So for revenues, to make it uh, very realistic, I usually don't um, just give the figures out.
Yeah.
For the sake of time, I'll speed up a bit. But I
Mm-hmm.
usually don't like just giving the figures out. When we do trainings, one person is here. He said he came to our training, so I believe he witnessed that. When we do trainings, what we do is that we actually take our time and take you through how that money is made, so that it's not as if we are just sugarcoating it for you to feel like the business is actually profitable. So let's take a 1 ton facility for instance. We said you need about 100 to 150,000 Ghana cedis. And when we say 1 ton, it means we are producing 1,000 kilos of the 1,000 to 1,200 kilos of the live larvae monthly. And when we dry that, we get about 400 kilos of dry larvae. So if we are producing 400 kilos of dry larvae, and for the fertilizer side as well, we usually divide it by three, which is higher than that. When I say we divide by three, what I mean is the quantity of organic waste we put in, we divide it by three, and we say that third uh, figure is what we are getting as biofertilizers. Usually it's higher than that. So meaning what we are trying to say is if we are doing 3 kilos of organic waste, at the end of the cycle, we are expecting 1 kilo of fertilizers.
Mm-hmm.
Usually we get higher than that, but I'm someone who likes to under promise and over deliver. So let me go with that.
Yeah.
Um, if we are going with that, it means that for the 1 ton facility, we are using about 4 to 5 tons of biofertilizers.
Mm-hmm.
And if we divide that by three and we take even 1.5, it's about 1.66 tons. But if we take 1.5, meaning we are generating 1.5 tons, that's 1,500 kilos of fertilizers monthly and 400 kilos of dried larvae monthly. I hope that is clear. We are
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
producing 400 kilos of dry larvae monthly and we are producing
We
1.5
want the
tons.
CDs. We want the CDs. So that will give us some.
Yeah. So I have to let you
Just
know where that
summarize and
money.
give us at the end of the
Okay.
month how much will you get and how much will
Okay.
you spend? Bulk numbers.
Okay. All right. Thank you. So if we are selling the price for dry larvae is between 12 to 15 cedis per kilogram, and even if we are selling it at the lowest, which is 12 cedis per kilogram, and we are producing 400 kilos, it means that in a month we are making 4,800 cedis from the larvae, and then the fertilizers as well. If we are producing 1,500 kilos and we are selling it at just 2 cedis per kilo, it means we are making about 3,000 cedis at the end of the month from the fertilizers as well. So it means we are earning 7,800 cedis. And with the recurring cost, like bringing in the ways, the workers who work there and others, I usually take off the 2,800. So we are making 7,800 and we assume we are using 2,800 for expenses, monthly expenses. It is
Mm-hmm.
lower than that, but we assume that is it. So
Mm-hmm.
meaning at the end of the month, the income we are actually making is 5,000 cedis. If we
Okay.
are making 5,000 cedis a month,
Mm-hmm.
meaning it will take us about 2 years and some few months to recoup our investment. But here is the wonderful thing about the black soldier fly. When I was talking about the quantity we produce monthly, I said 1 ton a month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the larvae themselves take just 14 days to mature. So in the
Okay.
beginning, because the person is the beginner, we train them to do it 1 ton a month. But when they get their hands around it, we stagger the production for them, and they're able to produce that quantity twice in a month. Because the larvae just takes just 14 days to grow. So meaning you're harvesting that quantity every 14 days.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So that income I mentioned, the 5,000 cedis is doubled. So meaning
Yeah.
we are getting minimum 10,000 cedis monthly. So in about a year, we are getting 120,000 cedis, and our investment is almost recouped in a year.
Okay.
So, and that is after I have brought down the figures, brought down the price we sell the larvae, the price
Yeah.
we sell the fertilizer, and even the quantity we're expecting at the end of the month and things like that. And I've even assumed that if we are producing the quantity twice in a month, it means your expenses will also double, which mostly is not like that. Your expenses will not just double. It will go up a
Yeah.
bit, but it will not double. So
Okay.
in the worst case scenario, you should be getting 10,000 cedis monthly if you are producing a 1 ton of live monthly.
All right.
Excellent.
Sam, I think people have to come and sit in your class later on.
Yes.
Before
Exactly.
we run out of
I
time,
will sign up.
before we run out of time,
Yeah.
Okay.
what was your advice? Your advice to the youth in particular, and what would be your advice to any politician who are messing us up? What would be your advice to them as far
Okay.
as this
So
project? So we have just five
okay.
minutes to wrap up.
Okay. Because the youth are my people, I'll talk to them last. I'll start with the politicians. So for the politicians, what I say is we are pleading with them. We know they have their policies, they have their policies, they have where they're actually headed towards. And we are pleading with them that when they come across some of us who are actually trying our best to not just raise money, but actually help the country. Because I started this business mainly because I needed money to fund my NGO. And if this business gets to a point where it is generating enough money, I believe one day on this same leadership platform, we'll talk about how far the NGO has come and the impact we've made in this country. So for some of us, if you are supporting us, you are not supporting some of Boadu, you are not supporting one person. You're indirectly supporting thousands of people in the near future. So we are pleading with them to support us, even though they have where they are headed. They should support some of us who are coming up with such innovations. And also looking at the fact that the current government has already started something relating to poultry farming. I'll plead with them to reach out so that we can actually help the farmers reduce their cost of feeding so that this project will actually work. But I want it to work. I want the Nkukwe Kitinkiti project to work so that we'll stop importing $600 million of chicken
Mm-hmm.
monthly, annually.
Yeah.
So to my dear youth,
Hmm?
um, one of the first things I would like to say is if you have money, some if you have some money and you are thinking of traveling abroad or doing business, I would recommend you stay in Ghana and do the business. It's very good to travel abroad. I'm not against it. It's very good to travel abroad. But if you have, because most of the times our excuse as the youth is that we don't have capital to start business here in Ghana. That is
But they
why we
have
want to
capital to
travel
travel.
abroad. Yes, we don't have capital to start business, but to travel abroad currently and to stay there and work, um, considering things like visa and flight tickets, accommodation, and things like that, you won't spend less than 50,000 cities to travel.
Mm-hmm.
And if I had 50,000 cities as at the time I started this business, I would have gone further than where I am today. I started with zero capital. And today I'm paying people. I have workers I'm working with. So if you have 50,000 cities, my advice to you is start a business here in Ghana. If you don't know what to do or how to start, you can reach out to us. We are willing to support you or reach out to any other consultants in the agribusiness space. If you reach out to Wiggling Good, we are always willing to support you to make that a success. And let's also have that can-do spirit in our minds. And let's not limit ourselves and feel that because we are young, we can't do this or we can't do that. Some of us, there are times when we go into some spaces, they ask us of our age and we don't mention. And I'll plead with the older generation too a bit. Please, the fact that we are young doesn't mean we don't know what we are doing. Because I've met people who feel like because looking at how this guy is young, I don't think he will be able to handle this project. If I give this guy $1 million project, I don't think he can handle it just because he's young. So we actually need you to take that risk with us,
Yeah.
to actually take that risk with us, believe in our potential, and I believe we will shine. So back to the youth, please, there's a lot we can do. Let's change our minds and let's focus on solving problems rather than sitting idle and calling on the government and other big men to come and help us. Let's start with the little we have. Thank you.
Sam, are
Wow.
you sure you are 25? Are you not 50?
He was I think Sam was recycled. You know, my friend says that God is not tired. We
You
cannot
are
make
double
it
your age,
human beings.
Sam.
So it's the old ones that is recycling. So Sam is one of the older recyclers. It's been an amazing session. And I think Doris Asimin is saying something. Can you read it, Joy? Yeah?
Yeah,
What does he
great,
say?
great program. He says it's a great program. What an inspirational
What an
young
inspiration.
entrepreneur. Yes. God bless the work of your
God,
hands. Amen.
wonderful.
Amen. Amen.
Amen, amen. And on that God
Amen.
bless note,
Awesome.
I will just give the floor to you, Samuel, to give us your final parting shots.
Okay, thank you very much. And because I like the youth, I'll hit there a bit again. If you're a young person out there and there's something you want to reach out to do, you want to start a business, I entreat you to reach out to WigglingGold Ltd. We are here to support. We are here to help you. If you're a businessman and you're also looking for where to invest your money, aside our partnerships and set up programs, we also have strategic investment opportunities. You can reach out to us and we can have a discussion. If you're a poultry farmer, you're a pig farmer, you're a fish farmer, or whoever you are, and you want to be trained, or you want us to actually set up one of these facilities for you to start this business, I'll encourage you to reach out. I've spoken a bit about my NGO as well. If you are interested, you can support us in any way to bring that vision back to life, bigger and better. Because one of the reasons why we held on was because of financial constraints. If you'll be able to help us make this bigger too, please reach out. Phone numbers are 0556 943631. 0556 943631 or 0558 240434. On all social media handles, we are WigglingGold GH, and you can also reach out on us via our website www.wigglinggold.com. And a special thank you to CTO Africa for this opportunity, for believing in young minds like me, and giving us this platform. Thank you so much.
Thank you so very much, Samuel. Thanks for this wonderful, and we pray that God will continue to bless you, bless your ideas, and bless all the young people. And on that note, we want to thank all of you who made it on this platform this evening. We say God bless you. And until we come your way again next week with another leadership idea, may God bless all of us. Good night.
And by the way, if you haven't subscribed to our channel, do that now.